What's up, everybody? This is Rustin from Fun Fact Films, and I am in Southern California right now, day 7, I think, of the trip. And we're stopping to visit my wife's family for a few days before we head up to Northern California, where I'm from. We moved from Georgia, and I was working at the University of Georgia as a dance professor. And after 3 years, my contract came to an end, and because of COVID and other reasons, I wasn't able to get rehired again. So we figured if we're going to figure out the next step, we might as well figure it out closer to family, so here we are. So now let's move on to some of the other questions that you asked. What is your favorite fact you found out during your research? It's hard for me to pick just one, but the movie that stands out the most that I enjoyed learning about was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because I was so amazed by that movie as a kid, and it just seemed so impossible to me that they were able to take live actors and have them interact with cartoons. So to learn about how they actually did that was really rewarding for me. If you had to watch one kids movie for the rest of your life, which one would it be? I think I would have to choose The Princess and the Frog. Guaranteed anyone's going to get tired of one movie, but I suppose if I had to tolerate one for the rest of my life, it would be that one for sure. Which movie based on a book is my favorite? By default, I think it'd have to be The Hunger Games, because I'm not a big reader, and The Hunger Games is the only book series I've ever read that has been made into a movie. The reason why I read the Hunger Games series is because I wanted to figure out how Mockingjay ended. At that point, only Catching Fire had been released, and I was frustrated to find out that they were going to make 2 movies out of the last book. So then I realized if I'm going to finish the movie, so to speak, by reading the books, then I better start from the beginning of the books and get the whole backstory that I wouldn't get in the movies. What is the weirdest movie you've ever watched? Shaolin Soccer. You should totally look into it. It is off the wall, crazy, kind of Looney Tunes humor, so if you're in that type of a mood, highly recommend it. Who's your favorite Disney animated character and why? Without a doubt, I'd have to say it's Ray from The Princess and the Frog. He is such a lovable character, I love his accent, and he has some of the best one-liners ever in Disney movies.
But your breath done it kill me to death.
What is your favorite movie? For me, it's very hard to pick favorites, but that's not very fun for you to learn about, so I've often said that my favorite movie is Inception. The reason why I think Inception is my favorite movie is because it's based on the immersion factor. When I went to see Inception, I came out of the theater kind of forgetting where I was. I had to re-tap myself back into society, and if a movie can pull me in that much, then I think it deserves to be my favorite. What is your least favorite movie you've watched? I'd have to go with the Twilight sequel. I can't remember what it's called, but I hadn't seen the first one. I had no interest in seeing the first one, or any of them for that matter. But we were over at some family's house and somebody picked it and no one really voted against it. And since I was, a guest in someone's house, I didn't feel like, well, I'm just going to be the one dissenting vote. So I went along with it. But it was very painful to get through because A, I'm just not interested in that type of movie. And I hadn't seen the first one, so I just didn't really understand or connect with any of the characters. And the worst part is that we then watched it again the next day. It was a situation where we're all sitting around kind of bored with nothing to do, and someone just popped it in, and I didn't really feel like I had anywhere else to go or anything else to do, so I had to suffer through it twice. What do I do in my spare time? I'm married and have kids, so I like to spend time with them, but I'm also a gamer of sorts, so I like video games, and I like playing board games and card games. What movie got you interested in film? So it wasn't just one movie, but I've grown up watching movies as a way of bonding with my family for my whole life. And something I picked up from my mom and also from my uncle is that they seem to know everybody's name. And I just thought that was so fascinating, that they didn't just enjoy the movie, but they knew who was involved in it. And my mom would also tell me some information about things that happened in the movie that she learned from reading magazines and stuff. And I just thought that was always cool to learn. And it made the movie watching experience more impactful for me. So I think that's kind of how I got into it, it's because of my mom and her brother. What's your goal for this channel? My overall goal for this channel is to create a job that I want to do that can provide better for my family. Because I've been a university professor in dance for over 10 years, and it really hasn't amounted to the career that I thought it would be. And it's really difficult for me to still come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to do that for the rest of my life, because I've been in dance since I was 5, and I thought that I was always going to do that once I made the decision in college to be a dance professor. So here I am, I've moved my family from Georgia. I'm moving in with my family in Northern California, and I'm going to try to make this YouTube thing work to be full-time. And if not, then at least I know that I gave it my best shot and I can move on to something else. Thank you so much for submitting those questions. It's hard for me to get in front of the camera because I'm just not comfortable with it yet, but I definitely enjoyed being able to share a little bit more about myself with you. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.